At it again, Birdies Not BS, episode 72. And what better way to have that 72nd episode of Birdies Not BS than with my co-homie, Miss Maggie Noel. Maggie, what is going on, girl?
What's up, Fresh? I'm happy to be here. 72, that's a good number.
It is a good number. We're going to get into that. But Maggie, before we get rolling, just let people know who you are, because I know your Golf Digest top best young instructors. Like, you got 17 businesses and everything. Tell the people kind of who you are and your background in the game.
Yeah, Houston native. Grew up right here. People know it as Missouri City. I grew up as the typical daddy-daughter, going to the golf course relationship. Daddy had it was special. Daddy had a goal of getting me into golf, so one day I would not have to pay for college, or he wouldn't have to pay for college.
Right.
So he just kind of kept me in the sport. He took me to every tournament, signed me up for every camp you could think of. I actually was pretty good, and so eventually it paid off. Did go to college, went to UNT, University of North Texas, played all 4 years there. Played a little bit afterwards, did some qualifiers, played some mini tours. That's when I kind of transitioned into teaching, and then from teaching is when I got named Golf Digest, one of Golf Digest's best young teachers in the country, 2 years in a row, actually.
Okay, I see you.
Yeah.
Put that in there, plug.
Yeah,
quick little plug.
Shameless plug. After teaching for a while, golf was all I've known my entire life. So I had other passions, and kind of what happened was some of those passions just fell into my lap. And so it was just kind of natural, right? It was just kind of natural that I made a transition into the beauty world, which, like I said, I had a natural talent and a natural, I loved it. Like anything beauty-wise, makeup, enhancements, anything. It was my thing. And so when I learned about microblading, which is what I do now, it was just kind of natural. It just fit with me. It went with what I love, even though golf was my first love. Right. Innately, I'm a girly girl. I'm into beauty. I'm into makeup. So I just really enjoyed the artistry of it. And, I started that business about 5 years ago. This is our 5-year anniversary. And now we are one of the biggest permanent makeup companies in the southern region. We've serviced almost 9,000 clients.
What's it called? Get the people with
it's called MPressive Faces.
MPressive Faces.
MPressive Faces, yes. And I'm just elated.
Well, Maggie, I'm sorry to take you out of your beautiness today and talk golf. I feel like I'm bringing you back into like where you like escaped from. So I apologize. I know you miss it though. We're gonna keep it right here for the people at home. Well, Maggie, this week's episode, we want to talk about keys for people to break par, shoot around par. 72nd episode, par being one of those kind of like level scores that people aspire toward. Maggie, you've taught the good players, you taught people that were absolutely horrible, that were just starting. Look, if you're probably starting the game, you're going to be horrible. Let's just get this out in the open, okay?
True story.
See people like Maggie, because she's doing eyebrows and stuff. But go find your professionals to get your lessons on, Maggie. But just out the gate, talking about the topic, breaking par or shooting even par. What are some of the things in your profession that you say to yourself, like, you have to do these things well to break par? And then I'll chime in too.
Well, depending on what type of player you are. Okay, if you're the avid player where, par is attainable, and maybe you're just kind of, right there. You're like mid 70s, low 80s, and you're trying to get to par. If you're a beginner, obviously that's going to take some time. But if you're just like right there and you're just trying to get to that, magic number, whatever par is, whatever course you're playing, whether it's par 71, 72, 70, when I was playing, and what I would always tell my students was, the competition is not between you and who you're playing. I always like to make them try to train their thought process to, you're playing the course. It's you against the course. Yeah. And instead of looking at the big picture, because, my problem when I stopped playing golf was I always was worried about the end result. Oh my God, I just bogeyed. Now I'm going to shoot this, and I'm on the 5th hole of the entire round, So I just started thinking too much end result. And so one of the things that I would teach my students was, I want you to break it up. Like, have a goal every 3 holes. Okay? Have a goal every 3 holes. That way your end result isn't hole number 18. your end result is really that third hole. And so if you say, hey, you know what, these 3 holes, I want to shoot 1 under. The next 3 holes, I want to shoot even. The next 3 holes after that, I want to shoot whatever. You know, it kind of minimizes that fear of what am I going to shoot on 18. So that way you have, you know, smaller goals throughout the round. So that way, man, if I met my goal these 3 rounds and I met my goal or even better, then you might surprise yourself and end up at par or even better.
See, I like that, Maggie, because it goes to the mental side of the game.
For
right?
sure.
That's more of a mental side. Let's get in here. Let's set these little milestone goals. So if we complete all of our milestones, you know, one thing about goals, in my opinion, when you do play like that, sometimes you got to reset during the round. You want to shoot 1 under in the first 3 or 6 holes, however you break your round down. You want to do that, but you shoot even par or 1 over. You can tweak those next holes as you go along. So I think that's something. But you know, Maggie, like one thing I feel like there's no shortcut to shooting level par 72, 71, 70. There's no shortcut. You gotta put the work in. You gotta go dig it out of the ground. You gotta hit balls. You gotta practice. You gotta get lessons. You gotta keep yourself in a certain shape. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it drives me nuts when I see people, even though they may have talent, they may be 5, 6, 7 handicaps, but they just think that that's enough. And that's what annoys the hell out of me. Like, it's not enough that you can hit the ball. Like, that's not enough to play this game at the next level, which a lot of people. You know, one thing, Maggie, and I want to get on, we're going to talk about some subsets, right?
Yeah.
So, things I think about, and I want you to take here. Things I think about are like putting, for example. If you want to shoot lower scores regardless of your handicap, how about you eliminate 3-putting? Trying to, you know what I mean? Like, just little goals. Like,
that's a good one.
Just little goal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the saying goes, you drive for show, you putt for dough. So whatever the dough is, it's par or actually winning some money or a bet or whatever, putting is what it's going to come down to. You know,
right.
Absolutely. Eliminate the 3 putts. That's one of the easiest ways. You know, I was a boring golfer. I was fairway, green and regulation, 2-putt, next hole. Fairway, green and regulation, 2-putt, next hole.
See, I'm already upset listening to you talk about that shit.
So, I mean, you're absolutely right, though. You can hit the ball all day long, but what good is it if you 3-putt or you 4-putt or you get on the green and you can't deliver, you know? So, absolutely.
What are some of those drills, Maggie, when you think about, there's 1,000,007 putting drills you can do.
1,000,008.
There's like, you can make up one tomorrow where you put the ball off your toe and hit it backwards and then you're doing some crazy shit. Like, you can do that. When you think back, Maggie, to instructing and playing, what were maybe 1 or 2 drills that, you know, really helped you either prepare for events or around? What are some of those putting drills that you think back to, like, that shit was helpful?
I think the one that helped me as a player, I mean, I used it in my training with my students as well, but it was putting yourself under pressure putts, 5 feet and in. You know, 5 feet and in. That's where the pressure's on, you know, because that 5-foot putt could either be for birdie or it could be for a par. And either way it goes, it's going to have, you know, carry a little bit of stress to it. So, especially when you get down to the final hole, the first whatever, you know, where there's some weight and some pressure on it. So creating an atmosphere, my dad used to do this to me all the time and I absolutely hated it, but I loved it as an instructor. But I literally had to make 100 putts in a row in order to go home. And if I didn't, I had to start all the way over. So can you imagine getting down?
How far? Hold on, how far? Let's set the scene.
I mean,
set the scene up.
You can start from 5 foot in. No, I'm sorry. You can start from 3 foot in and work your way out. Once I've gotten all 100 of my 3-foot putts in, now we need to expand it to 5 feet. Maybe 50, right? Maybe 50 in a row for the longer putts, but definitely something that once I get to 49 or once I get to 98, 99, and the pressure is on and your hands are shaking and you got to make it, otherwise you got to start all over. You know, that creates a different type of fear, no matter who you are. So
yeah,
I think once you master that, you know,
that's why you made every damn thing. You couldn't go home and eat until you had finished on the green. No food for you. Maggie, get your ass out there and hit them putts. You only got to 52, and then you had to start again. Look.
Exactly.
All right, well, look, you know, when I'm thinking of, and this is a grander thing, right? And I think this goes for a lot of people, Maggie. Course management. And everybody thinks course management is like like hitting ball, hitting it to the middle of the green or thinking through your shots, blah, blah. Look, course management, I like to think of it like this. You're playing a golf hole, maybe a dog legs left, maybe a dog legs right, maybe it's a difficult hole for you at your home course. A lot of people will just, I don't know what it is about, especially with men, their ego for driver. Like, I don't understand why we just got to bang the driver, okay? Every so often, it's okay to hit a 3-wood or a 5-wood or a hybrid or a driving iron or something to put yourself in a position to advance the ball forward. I think people forget, Maggie, like, when you're playing the course, there is strategy and there's a way to manage your game and your round so that it can be like low stress. Like, when's the last time 240 yards, I know it's short by today's standards, but when's the last time 240 yards straight got anybody in trouble?
Last time I checked, never.
Never. Not never. Even if it's a long hole, long par 5, it was short hole. Like, it's never going to get you in trouble. But, like, being able to hit certain positions off the tee. Did you play like that? Did you say to yourself, like, this hole's 300 yards, I want 100 yards in? I'm using the numbers to make it round.
Absolutely.
People don't judge me. Just did you play like that from the tee box?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I also taught that to our students too. Was course management. One of my tips was to play the hole backwards.
Ooh, tell me more. I know what it means, but tell the people.
So when you're playing the hole backwards, you're basically saying, okay, when I'm approaching the green, you haven't even hit your tee shot yet. Okay. When you're approaching the green, where do you want to approach the green from? Do you want to approach the green from the left side, the right side, the middle, depending on where the pin is, depending on what obstacles surround the pin or surround the green? Think about where you want to hit that ball from, okay? You can't just walk up to a tee box and just hit to the middle of the fairway, It's all about strategy. It is strategy because if you hit it down the middle, now when you get to the ball, you realize, oh snap, there's a bunker right in the middle of the green. Maybe I should have played more left of the fairway or more right of the fairway. But had you looked at that, yardage book and saw that, man, I got a little trouble here. Maybe I should approach the green from this side. That kind of gives you an idea of where you want to line yourself up on the tee box to try to put yourself in that position. And you're right.
This tech era, Maggie, too. Like, there's no excuse to not. Like, you can have the hole on your phone and the different distance apps. That's what I'm saying. Like, so for what you're saying right now, that's so true. You should never be kind of blindsided by a shot. And I think when I'm hearing you talking, I'm hearing you also say be intentional. When you're playing the hole backwards, we're talking about being intentional with. I don't need to hit driver here. I got a bunker at 260. Like, what the hell am I hit driver for? Especially if you carry the driver 260, that bunker's smooth in play. You shouldn't have to hit your best shot ever to avoid trouble.
Exactly. Like, and I would say too, put yourself in a position that you're able to hit your favorite club. You know what I mean? Like, if I had a hole, what good is it to put myself 70 yards from the green if I'm not really good at 70-yard shots? What if I put myself I put myself 100 yards from the green and I know I'm solid with this 100-yard shot, but that 70-yard shot, yes, I might be closer, but I don't have that 70-yard shot down.
But with 70 yards and then you got a front pin, and it's like you're screwed. Like, you need that 100-yard. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So don't be quick to just play your longest club off the tee box. Give yourself some distance to play comfortably. Play smart.
Especially if you got that banana ball. Like, don't hit that shit all day. I don't want to see that. Like, go ahead and get you something with some loft on it so we can calm that down. You know what
exactly.
But it's so funny, Maggie, because I really think this is one of the biggest mistakes for people as they try to get better. Like this right here. Like, the fact that people will just show up to the tee box. It doesn't matter, and you've seen them. They grab their head cover. It's the driver, boom, and then they get to the hole and it's like a par 3, and it's like, oh crap! It's like you're so used to pulling the driver out the bag that even on par 3 you think this is the club to hit. No. And Maggie too, pin position. Like, that was a great point you talked about. You might have 70 yards. We brought up to a front pin, but what good is that shot if you can't spin the ball or execute that tweener distance shot?
Right, exactly. That is a tweener in between. I don't know how far back to take it. Might go too far, might end up short. Absolutely.
Maggie, what was your go-to club? What did you like when you were playing?
I'm not gonna lie. My pitching wedge, my 100-yard shotter, that was my club.
With the little pitch.
I love my pitching wedge. I love my pitching wedge.
See, I was a 9-iron guy. Like, I like that, like, 130, like, little punchy, like, flighted. You know what I'm saying? Like,
controlled shot.
Man, like, you know what's funny? I'm glad we even said that, Maggie, because let's talk pin position. Yeah. Because I think this is another huge. When I say position, yes, it's front, middle, back, right? Yeah, that's one. But we're also talking left to right edges. You know, there are definitely some go pins. You know, and there's definitely some no pins.
For sure.
You know, Maggie, like, so when you were playing or when you are playing, what is like when you think of no pins versus go pins? What's the difference there?
You know, my strategy and my theory when it came to pin position was always go for the middle of the green. You know, whether it's front, back, left, or right. If you go for the middle of the green, well, you're either going to be putting up, putting down, putting left or right. You can't really go wrong. I would say definitely the sucker pins, the one that had, you know, water right in front or water, you know, right next to it. I wouldn't go for it. It's obvious. You know, don't go for something that's going to suck you in. They place these pins where they are strategically, okay, in hopes to make you fail, okay?
Right.
The golf course is never on your side. The golf course is never on your side. That's why it's always you against the golf course. But my strategy was always, I'm telling you, I was a boring golfer. Middle of the fairway, on the green of regulation, go for the middle, and then make your putt, your 2-putt, and go home or go to the next hole. So,
but you also won the Texas Amateur, so that's good advice. Like, you've won with that strategy.
I've won with that. I mean, I'm telling you, like, they call it boring, but boring wins, honey. Boring wins, or boring will at least get you to par. That's for sure. A lot easier than you trying to go for sucker pins and now you're in the bunker in the water because you tried to go for a pin that wasn't favorable. You know, had you just gone for the middle of the green, life would have been a lot easier.
See, I never liked going for the pin that was on the side of the green that was on the same side as the fairway I was on. I always hated that shot. Like, if I'm left side of the fairway and I've got a left pin, maybe there's like water left or a bunker. Like, that was always a no pin for me. Like, because I usually would pull that shot just because the sight lines and the way the optics work. That's a draw ball for me. I want that shot coming from the right side of the fairway where I get somewhat of a little angle so I can, you know, try to go flag hunting.
Favor, yeah.
It's funny, though. I really do like what you said because I read something that Jack Nicklaus wrote years ago when I was, you know, still playing collegiately. And he said something that very interesting. He said, given the size, like the actual area of a green, if you hit it to the middle of the green, you'll never have further than a 30-foot putt. And I was like, that's interesting. Like, if you hit it to 30 feet all day, odds are you're going to make one. I'm not, you know, you're going to make one if you have 18 looks at 30 feet. I'm going to give y'all some credit out there to the Birdies Not BS listeners. You're going to make one. You know, so, and maybe it's a par 5 that you're hitting too. You dig what I'm saying? Like, look, that's just me. But Maggie, back to practicing before we wrap. Look, people don't, and I know you know this, people don't practice their short game enough. They don't do it.
And that's where you win the money.
That's exactly right. You know, look, you can take on those sucker pins, right? Those dumb pins, those no pins, if you got a dope short game. Like, you can take on a lot more risk with your approach shots because you know you can get out of trouble. Maggie, give me something to help people chipping out here because they suck. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, chipping.
I know, I'm putting you on the spot. I got to. You're the best young coach in America. I got to give it to you.
No, I'm not gonna lie. My favorite lesson was chipping. Okay, and the reason why my favorite lesson was chipping was because the common mistake that I see I'm not gonna say all, but most of my, you know, students who struggled with chipping was controlling, engaging their shot. And the biggest mistake I saw was bigger backswing, smaller follow through. Bigger backswing, the decellers, like the taking it too far back, but then when it's time to make contact, your body says, yo, dude, that's a lot of backswing. So you know, and then you end up chunking it, and you can't control, more importantly, you can't control your distance. What I always said was change the backswing, but always, always, always execute the follow through. The exact same.
Got to.
Gauge it. If it's, this far back, always follow through. If it's a little bit more far back, always follow through. That way you can gauge how far these chip shots are going to go. But taking it too far back and decelerating, you'll never, in my opinion, ever be able to gauge your chip shots and be successful around the green.
I don't know how much more advice we can give them, Maggie. Hey, Maggie Noel, right here. Birdies Not BS. You know what? It's time to get to our stylist segment. We got Fairway Fashion coming up right here. Birdies Not BS with Taria Palmer. Birdies Not BS coming back. Special segment. You know, we got to keep your fashion together. Keep it right. You know, it's Fairway Fashion here, Birdies Not BS. We got my personal stylist. We got your stylist, Taria Palmer, in here with me. What's going on, Taria? How you doing?
Hey, y'all. What's up?
You know, here we got to get to it, Taria. Look, you got to get my swag right. You know, it's not always together. You know, after we talked the last episode, I was color blocking. I had my monochrome look. You should have seen me. I was out there fresh as hell.
Well, I believe you, Doug. I saw you. And one of the things that I wanted to tell you is that you did have one of the things that I'm going to bring up, which is having a coordinated fit. Like you had the sweatshirt and the shorts in the same color.
You know what I'm saying?
That's big for the spring and summer. Now you kind of had the monochrome look going,
That's right.
but there's lots of different ways you can do it. You can do it printed, you can do it floral, whatever. It's just having that set, the top and the shorts. And you know, growing up, we all called it a short set for the cookout. Well, that's back.
All right. Well,
So
good. That's good to know.
yeah, so those are back. Those are huge. I love seeing my husband wear them, and they translate amazingly to the golf course because they're easy to, you know, move around in. They're airy. You can get them in different fabrics. So that'd be my number one thing that people should, you know, transition from the street to the golf course. Also, I know I don't know a lot about golf. We know this, right? You're teaching me.
That's why we like you in here. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
you can bring that outer, you know, industry information in here to this golf world so we can be swagged out.
Right. So you're teaching me right about a little bit about golf. But one of the things that I noticed is that people wear like visors and stuff on the golf course, hats. Well, one big hat trend for the spring and summer is like the bucket hat is back. And they have it in all kinds of colors. They have it in all kinds of prints, and they're always cool, right? And they block the sun, and they just make you look cool. I think that would be a cool thing to see people transition from, again, the street to the golf course. Socks are another.
You said it like it was the McRib, like it's back. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
bucket
we
is
haven't
back.
seen people wearing bucket hats. And when was the last time you saw somebody wear a bucket hat?
It's a little different on the golf course. It's kind of like a thing, but you know, not out.
Oh, it's already a thing.
Not a lot
Well,
of people pull it off. They don't try it either. They don't even try.
okay. Well, so in different prints, I think it can be really, you know, really cute. Another thing is, of course, socks. You can always up the ante on your outfit as a man by having like an interesting pair of socks on. And at this point, I've seen them in all different lengths. Like some people like to wear them, you know, just under the knee. The younger people like wearing them a little bit under the knee. So if it's younger folks going to play golf, like that's definitely something that, you know, you can consider doing and is super stylish.
Especially if you want them high ass tan lines. You know what I'm saying? People forget, like in golf,
Right.
you're gonna have them white
If you
feet.
want a
Don't
tan
matter if you
line.
black, white, indifferent. You're gonna have white feet. So just go ahead and get that out. That's part of your
Just
fashion.
go ahead and put your socks on, right, and do what you need to do. So that's what I have for the men right now.
Yeah, what's happening for the ladies? What's going on with them?
Yeah, so for the ladies, we're seeing tennis skirts. So that sounds crazy, right? Wear a tennis skirt. And I know that already kind of happens on the golf course, but there are tennis skirts in all different colors out. They're super trendy, and people are actually wearing them not just in golf, but you know, when they're going anywhere, going out to eat, going to the mall, hanging out, the tennis skirt is definitely back. And we remember those if you were around when I was a kid, Clueless. You know, that was one of the things people wore tennis skirts. So that's back. And you can transition that from if you're having a day at golf and you want to go out with your girls. Another thing that I've been seeing that's trending is like the one shoulder top. And I think that can be worn very beautifully on the golf course.
Okay. All right,
So just
ladies.
that asymmetrical, you know, you want a little sexy going on, you know, you can have it there and still be appropriate for the golf course. Tie-dye is actually in a lot for the spring and the summer. And it doesn't have to be like, you know, the childish tie-dye that we're used to seeing. I've seen it in all
spiral.
different colors. Yeah, I've seen it in pastels. And it's really cute. And it's, again, I've seen it in a lot of airy fabrics, which is great for the golf course. So those would be like my top things that I would say to look out for. And also, oh, another thing, if you want to be sexy on the golf course, you want
Okay.
on a date or something like that.
If you got to take it from the course,
The side cutouts, and they can be classy, they can be cute. Dresses that have the sides cut out but are, again, comfortable for you to wear golf in, those are also trending and would be amazing to see on the golf course. So
Well,
that's
that's
my two
what's up,
cents for
Taria.
today.
Well, hey, you know what? We appreciate your 2 cents. It's worth about $10. Taria, we appreciate you coming
Appreciate
in
it.
here, holding it down, making sure our swag is right here. Birdies Not BS, Fairway Fashion. Hey, we appreciate Taria Palmer coming in here, getting y'all swag right. Oh, you gotta get your monochrome and all that together. Hey, look, Maggie, thank you so much for coming in here, co-homieing with me right here on Birdies Not BS. How do the people get a hold of you, Maggie?
Thank you, Dougie. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. You can find me and my company, MPressive Faces, on Instagram and Facebook. It's just MPressive Faces without the I in the beginning.
Okay, MPressive Faces, Maggie Noel. Hey, y'all know what to do, man. Follow, listen, subscribe. Hit us on them social channels. You know the hats for sale. We only sell them off of IG. Go in the DMs. Hit us up. Birdies Not BS on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. BirdiesNotBS.com. We'll be back next week with y'all. And Maggie, you coming back in here for another episode, down the line.
I'm back.
So I'm looking forward to that conversation as well.
Can't get rid of me yet.
I love it. Hey, we'll holler at y'all.